Every day there's a new token coming onto an exchange. DeFi is absolutely explosive. How do you make sure to invest in that right altcoin? How do you know you're finding that next hot crypto investment that isn't just going to 2x? Hopefully it's going to 5x. It would be great if it 10x's. Of course, it would be fantastic if it 100 or 1,000x's. But even just a 5 to 10x would be pretty phenomenal. And you want to make sure you're making that right choice. You don't want to get stuck in something that's going south. So in this video, I'm going to be covering what I believe is going to have fantastic gains. I'm going to show you why. I did do a video on Unimex. This is the token we're going to be talking about. I did a video on it yesterday. If you haven't seen that, you can go back and watch that. At that point, I was putting my trades in and they hadn't closed. In this video, I'm going to show you what happened with my buys. I was on Gate.io, and I'll get into that in a second because there were some things that until you take action, you don't know what you don't know. So you're going to want to watch all the way through from what I show you here. I think it's going to be extremely helpful. It's going to save you a lot of time, hours and hours of time, if you decide to go ahead and trade in Unimex or a token that is similar to it with a similar market cap that isn't on one of these really big centralized exchanges. I'm also going to be sharing a little bit of feedback as well that came from our Crypto Angel Network community, because I put that out to you in yesterday's video, and there were some fantastic insights that came back. So this is going to be great. Get ready, and we're going to dive into it. And without further ado, I'm Joanna Garzilli. This is Crypto Angel Network, and I appreciate you subscribing to the channel and for hitting the notification bell, for liking, and especially your comments. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so this was yesterday's video. This is my video here yesterday because I thought, you know what, I need to just go and record what's happening while I'm taking the action. I've been doing deep research for the last couple of weeks, going, what do I go into next? And I'm going to show you also where I'm at, what I have in my portfolio right now. I am going to be doing a series of videos coming up on the extensive research I have done on a number of tokens. Some of you have asked me to cover certain tokens to look into, and I will be addressing those, but I also have ones that I have found that I want to go into at least 10, 15 of them, so much so, but I had to just pick my top ones. And so Unimex is my number one, like in terms of the new ones that I've gone to. This is where I've said, okay, I'm making a commitment with this. So this was my video from yesterday on Unimex, and I ended up posting that yesterday evening. And let me just scroll down here because I want to go to the comments first, because I think this will be helpful. So again, Kuchi Sensei, I always appreciate what you share here. And so he says, I can't believe, Kuchi Sensei, that you're a newbie with, you said 4 months. I have learned so much from you. You're amazing. So thank you for contributing to the Crypto Angel Network community. And so he says, I think that specific trading pairs don't really advantage you either way. All they do is either increase or decrease the liquidity of whatever you're trying to trade. Like under the candlesticks, there's the trading volume bars. Some trading pairs have less volume, so the trades will take longer since people are trading that particular pair. If you saw UMX US dollar tether had bigger volume bars under the candlesticks than UMX Ethereum, then it might be faster to swap Ethereum for US dollar than US dollar tether to UMX. So let me just go over here to explain a little bit more about what Kuchi Sensei is saying. And here we are on CoinGecko, and I love CoinGecko. And if we scroll all the way down here, you can see that Unimex is just on these exchanges at the moment. The 24-hour volume for UniSwap, which it's mostly on, it was 1.15 million. For Gate.io, this is under the US dollar tether trading pair. There was $57,437. And then under Ethereum, it was just over $32,000. And I'm going to show what happened when I was putting in these trades, because I didn't get to show that. I just put, here's my limit order yesterday. This was what happened. And then I'm going to reveal what occurred next, because he's making a great point here. And I did go through this experience where I was trying to put these trades in on the Gate.io, the Ethereum trading pair. And it was, hang on a sec. Let me just move this. Can I move this down slightly? Hang on. Let me just go, where am I going? Here we go. Yeah, so it was really, here we are in Gate.io, and this was my first time using Gate.io yesterday. And so what I did was I was in the Ethereum. Right now I'm in US dollar tether. I'm just going to stay on this right now just so you can see the screen, and you can see that, look how many, it wasn't like I could just go and put a limit order in and then it fills. Oh my gosh, like if I hadn't gone, and this is a feature that I do not see on Binance US and I don't see it on Coinbase, which is really cool, which is when you go to buy and you go to put in, I'll record a video on this at some point. But what happens is you put in the order, and that when you're looking at the prices here and you're looking at the spread, I mean, God, look at the spread. It's almost 9% spread here. So let's say I wanted to put in an order, and I want to go in at 4.12, but because there's so little volume going through, I mean, I could be waiting hours and hours, because look at the amounts here. We're talking like, look, someone's doing a total of a $6 trade here. They're getting they're getting 1.5 Unimex or 13 Unimex. This one here, look, $3.42. So I was looking to go and buy. In the end, yesterday, what I said in the video was I was looking to get $10,000 worth of Unimex. And what I ended up doing, because I did end up going into a couple of other tokens, and I'm going to cover that in another video on what happened with that. But in the end, I ended up getting 4,001 Unimex. So I'm very proud owner of just over 4,000 Unimex. And I got that for, it was like just under $5,000. So that was what I ended up doing. I thought I was going to go in with $10,000 worth, and I just ended up deciding to do 5,000. And part of it was just this market, because wasn't on UniSwap, and I think UniSwap's amazing. I just haven't had the courage to use it yet as a new user. Like for me, this next step was going onto Gate.io, and I shouldn't be scared. I think that the main reason I didn't use UniSwap was because I just got nervous about, and the Uniswap, it's not hard to use. I think it's just that, how do I explain it? What am I trying to say here? That moving, when you then have to show it in your MetaMask wallet, that's what I was nervous about, of making sure that my trade that I would do in Uniswap, that I would add that address, add that correctly into my MetaMask wallet, that I wouldn't just leave it out somewhere in the ethers. And I'm sure I would have figured it out and could have done it. And but I just haven't done it yet. I started off with, I wanted to start using Gate.io, and that's why I picked this exchange. Now, the other thinking with that was, I thought, oh, if there's less volume, maybe I'll get a better price. But what I learned was that is absolutely incorrect. Where there's more volume, you're going to have more buyer seller matches, and it's going to work, it's going to work so much more effectively like that. So when I went to trade in Ethereum, oh my gosh, I mean, it was like watching paint dry, because look, I mean, just, if you look at how slow this is compared to when you're trading on Coinbase Pro or and you can just, or Binance, and you just boom, 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 and you're watching Ethereum US dollar trading pair. It's just flying, right? It's just flying through. And look at the pace of this. Look how long it just takes for each one to go through. It is slow on here. So what I ended up doing And this is just on the US. Look, you can see this is a US dollar tether. Look how many transactions I had to do where I was doing limit buys, but really I had to just go, this is how I did it. I was like, okay, I'm going to go and put in at a certain price. And then I go, all right, I see that there is a 52 Unimex here. Oh, it's 4.194. After I'd done my limit buy over here, you can do a thing where you edit on your order. And I go, okay, that cleared. Now I want to get my next here. If I go to 4.20, I can get 167 Unimex. So I go in and edit and modify the order. And then boom, suddenly the sale would go through over here. And then again, the next one, I'd look and go, look, you can just see it's such small amounts. And then I would go over here and look at okay, we got a little bit more here at 4.473. We've got 553 and 232. So I would just methodically go through and keep adjusting, modifying my order without having to cancel the trade. And that was how I got the sales to go through. If I hadn't done that, just knowing what the trading volume is, because think about it, like I just showed you, the volume for yesterday was 32,000. Of that 32,000, I was just over 2,000 of that. And also what I wanted to show, there was a point yesterday where I was, let's see, from yesterday, look, see this, can you see this where it just pumped, like it really pumped yesterday? See, from here to here, it went through this big pump. And as it went through, that was us. That was us. Crypto angel, hear me going and buying up all of this Unimex. So it was crazy because it was just hovering down around here and then doing those buys because the market is so small. We ended up creating this big green candle here. And I thought, wow, that's what it's like to be when you're a whale in a market. And so that this was the other thing that was really important. Where at first I tried to push through $10,000 and just put that on Ethereum, and there weren't the buyers there for it. Nothing was moving. What I figured was, I have to do it in smaller amounts. So little by little, it was like, okay, break this down to $500, $1,000. And then of that, I was having to at points just do $100 here, $100 there, $200 here, $200 there. And so this was an entirely new experience for me. And with that being said, let me go back to some of the comments that I think you will find helpful. Because before I go back to that, actually, one more thing. If you are looking at sort of where you're going into certain tokens and they've already hit the big exchanges, if you want to get those massive gains at this point, it is getting harder and harder because of just how there are these huge whales in the market, and they just the volatility that is happening. It's very, very challenging then to get some of those bigger gains. So that is why I am now really been looking at what are those altcoin gems. That's why I started doing that deeper research. And I saw that these altcoin gems, the majority of them, especially as a US citizen, you can only really find them, these amazing projects, on Uniswap, and also that you can find them in Gate.io. Gate.io has started adding tons and tons of incredible projects. So let me just go back over here to the comments for what I want to share with you next that I think is really, really important. And so just to finish off here, that and Kuchi Sensei exactly is saying, I see this a lot on pairs, a Bitcoin or any coin, where some pairs just don't have enough volume to have a quick taker on your offering. Exactly. It's like, you just, I don't know, it could be waiting for like 4 days for something. Now, at a certain point, Unimex right now is Let's see. When I was going in yesterday, I mean, it's gone up from yesterday. It's at 403. It's moving back up again. It was 379. But again, it's just a different price on these different exchanges, depending on what the liquidity is there. And we're at a market cap of, it's gone up a little bit. It's more is going in. It's around 26 million. We know that it's fully hosted by UniSwap. It's part of that, and UniSwap is 14, 15 billion. So I just would imagine at some point Unimex will make it onto one of these larger exchanges. And that's why when I look at what UniSwap did in 7 months, it went from $1 to $29 at now, and it's had a high of $35. If you look at the all-time low of a month ago for Unimex at 48 cents, and we've seen the all-time high has been already almost $8. And we're right now in April. Where are we going to be in September? I mean, I think that we're going to see really, really strong gains. So we're going to come back over here, and yes, so let me just, not a lot of people, if I swap any coin to stable coin or fiat, I can get ultra fast takers because the bulk of traders are usually trading those pairs. And it's exactly that. I found that it just moved so much faster when I got out of Ethereum, and I took my Ethereum, I went to US dollar Tether, and that was a little bit frustrating because Ethereum had been at around 2,100 and something. I then sold mine at, I did US dollar Tether at 1,984, 1,990, 1,992. But it's just sort of like, I just think like, well, I've got to get on the freeway at a certain point. I've just got to deal with whatever it is. Otherwise, I'm going to drive myself bloody nuts. And then technically, each sale is a taxable event. Yes, every trade usually has a fee. And this is what I like with Gate.io as well. They have some really, I'll just show in another video at a certain point what I love with the Gate.io structure. And that is another token that I have just invested into because I think it's going to do, like, I remember when Binance came out, and I remember buying Binance when it was $2 and US citizens were still allowed on the exchange. And we know that Binance now is over $200. And I have the same feeling about Gate.io exchange, right? This is Gate.io exchange. I have the same feeling about Gate.io as I did about when I first started using Binance. And so I'll do another video on that separately, but I did end up buying Gate.io as well. And I'm going to just show you this very quickly. If you just look at all the stuff that is going on here, and I actually just came across another project that they're doing that I missed. They were doing a giveaway on BLY Blockly, and I just researched that a bit. And I think this is a really, really fantastic token because it's supply chain for agriculture. Super, super strong with an incredible team. So Blockly looks really, really good. But again, something like that you can only get on here, and it was on Get thumb something. I'm trying to remember the exchange, one that I just don't know. So again, you're not going to get these tokens on the central exchanges if one can just say, okay, I'm going to go and get into something like Gate.io. Gate.io is a Chinese exchange, and I am a fan of this already. I'm newer to using it, but they just have so much going on here. I really like it. And I have an affiliate link that I've added in the description as well. It just means that we both get some rewards there for that if you do get an account with them. And then Anthony said, what do you say? UMX is an ERC20 token. It's priced in Ethereum. Yes. And then, with US dollar Tether as well. And because I was saying about, gosh, do I go and trade it in Ethereum or US dollar Tether? Now that I have the UMX tokens, I don't think it matters. Like, I could go back to Ethereum or I could keep US dollar Tether. And But yes, moving forward, I see it is much easier to trade in US dollar tether. He says, sure, you can have other pools. My point is when Ethereum rises or falls, the price of an ERC token fiat amount goes up and down. Exactly. As far as other pools, when ETH rises or falls, that makes an arbitrage opportunity for someone to buy or sell in the other pool to match the true price. And yes. Oh, so you're new as well, he says. No one tells you this stuff and it's frustrating. And that's why, I wanted to show some of my stuff in action for when, if you're at a point where you go, I'm ready to go off of some of the main things and the bigger tokens and get into these newer projects. And there was something else here that, let me just go. Kuchi Sensei makes another good point. When you decide to sell UMX, it would be faster and cheaper if Ethereum gas fees are still high. If you sold the UMX on your Gate.io for a stable coin, yes, exactly, for US dollar tether, then trade it something with relatively cheap transfer fees like XLM or BCH. I don't have those yet. And then send that to Coinbase Pro or Binance US. And from there, you can convert to fiat or anything else. So yeah, I mean, you're seeing like, it's not like a one step in the process. There's multiple steps that have to happen. And that's why the tokens that I'm going into, whether it's on Gate.io for me or whether one does it on Uniswap, is I think, and because of these fees, you want to be able to stay in it for a while. This is, I don't think, in my opinion, this is not something to go and swing trade, to day trade. I look at it something, I'm going to be in this thing for a few months at least, and then maintain a little bit in there. Crypto News says, thanks for the info on Unimex. I've used Uniswap and I don't like using it for various reasons. I just sold my CND for Ethereum on Uniswap and it's taking a long time for transaction to go through. Does anyone know how long it takes for transaction to finish? Is there a time limit? If it doesn't go through, do they let you know? Now, I think from what I understand so far, it's like if you decide you have an option of how much you get to pay in the gas fees, and if you pay a higher gas fee, then the miners, they will move it through the block faster. You're basically, think of it like it's like using premium fuel, or it's like going in the carpool lane and saying, I'm going to pay for that fast track instead of just being in the regular lanes on the freeway. That's my understanding. So you pay the higher gas fee, your transaction is going to be moved through faster. It also depends how many transactions are occurring on the Ethereum blockchain at that point in time. If there's a lot of transactions happening, you just have to wait your turn. And what I do know is, for example, when I transferred my Ethereum from Coinbase Pro over to Gate.io, that it's 35 confirmations on the blockchain. And it did happen pretty quickly. It happened within, normally it happens within 2 to 4 minutes. But yes, my understanding is sometimes when you are doing these trades on Uniswap, you could be waiting 3-4 hours. So yeah, these are all things to think about. And I think also that Uniswap has its version 3 coming out, and we are going to keep seeing improvements in the technology, with the blockchain being more and more effective. Metalfish says, thanks, Joe. You're gonna check this out, Unimex out. Of course, everyone has to do their own due diligence. What I say here is just what I am doing, what I've found, what I like. You got to make your own investment choices. So Metalfish says, your question on Ethereum versus Tether as trading account. I think the problem here is a mix-up of strategy. Always important to keep the two very clear and separate and work on it day by day till you achieve your target, rather than one trading coins using trading coins such as down averaging, to seeing your Ethereum account going up and down, thus clouding your judgment on trading movements. Just my thoughts. And so Metalfish is 3 months experience in crypto, but 15 years in stock trading and property investment. Very, very cool. And with that as well, what I did after we moved over the Ethereum, I just bought a whole load more Ethereum as well. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. Bob Marlin said, I'm putting at least 25% of my portfolio into Unimex on the Hotbit exchange because I waited for more user-friendly swap like Unimex gives. Diamond hands to the moon, possible if we take low tokens volume and tokenomics. more possible than a lot of X in comparison to other decentralized exchanges. Great research. Congrats. Thank you. I feel good on the research. Yeah, with that being said as well, let me just pop over to here, over to the coin tracker. And, so I am just in terms, I'm just going to just give a very brief update here with this. Now, one of the things, I love coin tracker, but I will say that as soon as I've gone into some of these tokens that are not like the big tokens that are out there, like the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, Cardano, it's not the cost tracking. I'm finding I'm having to reach out on Twitter and say, why is the cost basis not matching the price? So, I'm hoping by the time I do my 2021 taxes, they will have resolved this. But yeah, you can see like here on Unimex, it's saying cost basis 0 and the price here, well, that's incorrect. So it's showing me plus $4,779, but it's not showing that basically like I wouldn't have profit right now because I just went and bought it. And that is something that coin tracker really needs to be able to get on top of. I had the same issue with that with the VThor token as well. I had to get on them on Twitter so that they could show the cost basis there. And so Unimex right now, I just think that I would imagine it's, one's going to at least double one's money on it within the next couple of months. That's pretty much a no-brainer. It's a really good time to go into it because it's only been out for a month. And then with the Ethereum that I'd moved over to Gate.io to put into Unimex, we just went and bought more Ethereum. Because here's the thing, here's what I am seeing, is that as I read more and more white papers, and I'm seeing how everything is being built using Ethereum, and I'm seeing that you have UniSwap with a $15 billion market cap, and that is all with Ethereum gas, and that Ethereum now is moving towards being a store of value, that it is the next, essentially you could say, is the next Bitcoin, and instead of it being a proof of stake, that it is really going to become something that one is using to hedge. This is why I'm just looking at when I bought Ethereum when it was around 1,000, and then it went to 1,400, and then I was waiting for it to go back down to, I thought maybe it'll go 900, maybe it'll go 700 something. It never went down to those numbers again, and that wasn't that long ago. So where I was agonizing last night, I was going nuts because I bought Ethereum last week for 1,689. And then obviously I just moved that all across to Gate.io to get into these other tokens. And then I just bought again yesterday, like late last night. I put it, and this is the other thing, I'm kicking myself here. Let me just share this a sec. So I put an order in for 1997 last night to go and buy around 7.5 Ethereum. Then I woke up at 2 a.m. I saw that it had pumped up to 2034, and then it kept hovering around 2020. So I brought down my limit order, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go with 2016. And then that went through. When I woke up this morning, I saw that it had actually gone down to 1984 for a bit, and then it started to pump again. When I last looked, it was 2074, and I just I went to myself, God, I wish I hadn't woken up in the night. If I hadn't woken up in the night, if I hadn't gone and looked at my Coinbase Pro app, if I hadn't adjusted that, then I would have got it at the 1997, and I should have just stuck with that. So I'm just sharing that with you because sometimes this is the thing of just it's like, is it going to keep pumping and going up? Is it going to come down? And it's hard. It's really, really hard to know. It's like Elias Trades. I really like his channel. And he said sometimes he's not even using technical analysis at the moment to make certain decisions because it's just so crazy. It's so super volatile. So with the with the Ethereum there, I was just like, you know what, we just went in with, I do not have Bitcoin at the moment. I'm not holding Bitcoin. And I know Bitcoin's going to go up and that, but I just feel like for what I want to do, my strategy is that I'm going to be getting into a few other tokens, and I'm just going to be holding a whole lot of Ethereum, because earlier on this year, Crypto and Da Vinci had said, Ethereum, we could see 48,000 this year. And I initially thought, well, that's bloody ridiculous. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. That's just not possible. But now, the more and more I look at Ethereum, the use of it, and how it is in so many projects with billions and billions of dollars pouring in, and now trillions added to the entire, if you think about it, Bitcoin's 50%, well, that other 50% majority is Ethereum based. It just, to me, I'm thinking, the thought that keeps going over and over in my head is, wow, Ethereum is so undervalued. It is so undervalued right now. And so this is why I have more Ethereum. And I think that, although my point being, even though I agonized over, I got it at 2016 instead of 1997, it doesn't matter, because in a few months from now, it's going to be at least 5,000, 10,000. There's going to be a point where the price right now, 2063, it's never going to be that price again. We're not going to go back down to that. That's just my opinion. That's what I think. Please let me know in the comments, what do you think? So now we have 7.6 Ethereum here, and I'm going to hold on to quite a bit of that, because I just feel that Ethereum, the institutional investors, they're buying up that Ethereum as well like crazy. So this is where my portfolio is right now. I'll tell you where I am upside down right now is in VeThor token. I'm upside down about 2 grand, but I'm not worried about that, because I think VeThor token, the gas, it's consolidating and it's going to pump in the not too distant future. So there we go. There's so much I want to share. There's so many different things, but those are just some of my main key thoughts today. And I have a lot of other really, really good stuff that I'm going to be bringing you in terms of the certain tokens I've gone into lately, but there's other ones that I'm waiting, that I am going to be going into next. I'm going to keep the bulk in Ethereum, then I'll move a bit more over to Gate.io. I'll make that US dollar tether, and then I'll be trading and getting some of those tokens. But I'm not going to over diversify my portfolio, because I realize otherwise it's just too much. I'm holding on to my Harmony at the moment as well. I know that there have been some, and I'm going to do a separate video on that, but I'm keeping my Harmony, and the people who are going out of it, they're going to miss out. So it's going to be their loss and someone else's gain. My gain, our gain, right? For those of us are the Harmonauts who are sticking with it. So Unimex, in conclusion, I am very, very excited to have over 1,000 Unimex. I think it is an incredible project. I imagine it's going to go onto one of the main exchanges like Coinbase Pro later on this year. And when it does, there are going to be great gains. So I'm super excited, and I feel really, really good about it. This was not a decision I took lightly. I would have liked to have had 10,000, but I just didn't want to totally unbalance my portfolio. So I've got around $5,000 worth. I'm very happy with it. Do you have Unimex? Do you like it? Are you going to hodl it? Are you going to look to swing trade it? I think it's a little bit hard to swing trade it, but anyway, let me know. What are your thoughts? What's your strategy? What are you bullish on as well? And that's it. I'm Joanna Garzilli. This is Crypto Angel Network. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to sharing some new great stuff with you in my next video. And I am sending you lots and lots of love.